I want to start this copper forecast with one simple question. Copper is sitting just above 550. Is that strength, or is it just a pause? Because how copper behaves here matters far more than any headline. Recent tariff policies and reshoring efforts are pushing more manufacturing back into the United States. That matters because copper sits at the center of real production. But tariffs are not the forecast. They're just the backdrop. Copper closed near $5.52. That level matters, not because copper is surging, but because it's refusing to weaken. Last week, the copper forecast focused on one thing above all others: structure. We said that as long as copper held its gains and did not fall back into the prior range, the trend remained intact. That's exactly what happened. Copper didn't spike, it didn't break, and it didn't give back its ground. That's not excitement. That's confirmation. This market continues to behave like a structurally supported industrial metal, not a speculative trade. Copper doesn't move because of headlines. It moves when demand is real. Electric infrastructure, manufacturing, data centers, grid expansion, those forces don't reverse week to week. They build. As long as the US dollar remains contained, copper remains supported above 550. If the dollar attempts a modest bounce next week, copper may pause or pull back slightly. That would not be a breakdown. That would be digestion. Here's how I'm framing the week ahead. Base case: copper holds above 550. Pullbacks are shallow. Buyers step in. Alternate scenario: a short-term dollar bounce pushes copper into consolidation. Structure remains intact. Low probability risk case: a sharp dollar surge or sudden risk-off move forces a deeper pullback. Even in that case, the longer-term thesis does not fail. The timeline shifts. That distinction matters. I'm not watching copper tick by tick. I'm watching whether copper continues to refuse weakness while other markets fluctuate. That behavior tells us far more than any single candle. Copper may not get the same attention or excitement as silver, but its steady growth and consistent price gains can't be ignored. It's the quiet strength in the metals market, and often the one telling the bigger story. And we won't leave this hanging. Midweek, we'll come back and check the tape. We'll see whether copper held structure, or whether this pause turned into something more. And we'll do that alongside silver, to see whether both metals are confirming the same story, or whether one is starting to diverge. Because forecasts aren't proven by opinions, they're proven by behavior. That midweek check is where the thesis either holds or gets stress tested, and that's where the real signal shows up.